release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I'm gonna see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I'm gonna see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unity North Atlanta. I'm Reverend Richard Burdick, and we are only here for God, for the power and presence of God. Tonight we begin a journey, a 40-day journey into resurrection, into the awareness of God and God alone that happens at this time of spring, that happens with the earth, it happens in the Christian world, and it happens with each and every one of us as we awaken to that which we are, letting go of that which doesn't belong. We release it. We let it go, for we're only here for that divine appointment. It is Ash Wednesday, the beginning period of Lent, 40 days. I'm going to invite you to suspend any and all history that you have in your mind or in your heart about what Ash Wednesday is. Many of you have an experience in your Catholic upbringing, in your Christian upbringing. Just suspend it. It's going to have a new thought twist today. Be present to something fresh, something new, something different. Certainly it is going to be for us tonight. Michael and Laura Lynn are here with us, and we're going to create together something fresh and new, and we're going to see where God leads us, because we're only here for God. Not the script, not the plan, not the history, but the moment where God exists. Before we get started, we thought it might be kind of fun to acknowledge that there is a partner to Ash Wednesday, and that's the night before. Last night was Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday, as they call it. Michael grew up in Nolens. He grew up there. And so he has a poem that he wanted to share with us about Fat Tuesday, and maybe make that seem and feel a little bit different than you have always pictured Mardi Gras. So it's all yours, Michael.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, Mardi Gras, the day before Ash Wednesday. Pure, decadent delight. The genuine madness of Mardi Gras, where French Quarter madams in a mirage of mayhem rub souls with uptown debutantes in partial disarray. Slowly becoming a complete disarray as Fat Tuesday unfolds. Yes, the day before Ash Wednesday is a day of dawning desire in the city that care forgot. You know, this is a city where desire is planted across the face of a streetcar as it rolls over you, and thousands of beads with the same sense of glorious ignorance. Ignorance, a poor man's mistress costumed as a rich man's wife. Everyone seems to leave logical intelligence in the closet as they come out, costumed for the carnivorous escapades of a Crescent City carnival. celebrating this gloriously corrupt cornucopia of merging flesh. You know, Voltaire once said, God is a comedian playing to an audience who's afraid to laugh. Not here in New Orleans. We laugh so hard that God's own tears roll down our cheeks and wash us wide open. Lots of love on this day. Lots of love on Mardi Gras Day. Crazy, beautiful love. Love beyond imagination on this day. A day to display the masks that shine our souls as sacred mirrors. This day, this is an incredible exercise in finding truth that comes once a year, yet lasts a few lifetimes. A massive wave of release that floats a city into the mystery of its own moss. Poets, barkers, musicians, bankers, lawyers, doctors, sinners, and saints all gather in a sea of freedom, rubbing shoulders where wings are hiding. A day of love, any way you desire. I hope you had a great Mardi Gras and that your Ash Wednesday is blessed as we open to the 40 days of Lent. Be good to each other and watch out for that streetcar.
Thank you, Michael. It's fun to laugh and to play and to laugh at ourselves and to play in the energy and the playground of God, to prepare for resurrection, to prepare for something tremendous that we can't even imagine. First, let's be fully human on Fat Tuesday, and then fully divine for the next 40 days. We've come together tonight to prepare our hearts and our minds for a deeper awareness of God's presence within us. Ash Wednesday is a time to remember our humanness and all the things that must shift and change and morph in order to grow and to unfold, which is our job on this planet, to become more of who we were before we had forgotten. Tonight, as well, is a time when we make ourselves more aware of the eternal presence of the divine. And we call that the Christ that lives within us and never dies, but is only reborn moment after moment after moment as we release that which we are not and clear the space for that remembrance of who we are. Tonight, we have the opportunity to participate in two very meaningful rituals. Take a deep breath with me as we prepare to move into these rituals. A releasing and a letting go ceremony, and the phoenix rising ceremony from the ashes of what has been released. Traditionally, New Thought does not do a lot of rituals. We don't have a lot of rituals because the founders believed in the importance of doing the work in mind and in heart rather than using an outer ritual or a ceremony for that demonstration. Tonight is only merely an outer symbol of our inward journey, our inward commitment. You see, ritual for ritual's sake really doesn't have much meaning at all. But ritual, when it is done with consciousness, with education and understanding, can be the most beautiful and magnificent pathway to awakening. A deep healing can occur. And I invite you into the energy that a deep healing can occur here this evening. When people come together with a common purpose, a common intention, a common desire, something beautiful can happen, something magnificent. When we affirm with each other the process that we're all going through, that we have the spiritual ability to live our lives at the highest and best energy and frequency. When we call ourselves into the arena as co-creators, as children of God in the arena of becoming. A community where we empower each other in taking hold of the qualities, the attitudes, the divine ideas, and the beliefs that we want to express more fully in our lives. A life where we are free to live in the full expression of the light that we are as spiritual beings. I've asked Laura Lynn to lead us in the lighting of some candles as a symbol of the Holy Trinity that we celebrate at this time of year, but also as a symbol of the light that you are. Laura Lynn?
Let us begin by lighting 3 candles. We kindle our first candle, which represents the divine light in all creation. The master teacher Jesus not only claimed that he was the light of the world, but also that we can share the same light. May this light guide us along the path to renewal and wholeness. May this light within us always illumine our path and each step along the way. We kindle our second candle to honor the past. Tonight, we prepare to release any pain or resentment from the past events that still enslave our spirits. As we release the past, we bless those who have walked our paths with us. We acknowledge what was. We forgive whatever is still unforgiven. And we bless all that has brought us to this point in our soul's enfoldment. We kindle the third candle, which represents the new being which is emerging out of the ashes of our past to new freedom. We rise again and again to a higher expression of God's love and light. May the light of God shine from the very depths of our beings and guide us ever upward. Let this candle serve as a light of all that we are becoming as fully realized Christ beings.
I invite you as we go further into the sanctuary of this moment, our own being, to sing this song, I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. Wherever you are, sing with me. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. Close your eyes and continue to sing with me. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. One more time with a powerful voice of triumph. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. I release the past and allow the healing power of love into my life. The intention has been set as we bring the past, the present, and the future into the now moment, releasing that which doesn't belong and claiming that which does. Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of the Lenten season. It is a 40-day period of prayer and fasting that precedes the Easter celebration. The ancient Hebrew writers made a practice of using numbers to symbolize ideas, to symbolize divine ideas and potential. 40 in the mind of those writers suggested the idea of a foundation for something about to follow, an idea of completeness and a new beginning. 40 was a number that meant as long as it takes to release, as long as it takes to become. So the number 40 is frequently used in Scripture to indicate a preparation for a major shift. This 40 days of Lent is a preparation for a major shift that culminates at Easter, a resurrection. The story of Noah, for instance, it's not an accident that it rained for 40 days and for 40 nights. That was the time it took for the spiritual change in consciousness of humankind. Whether it was 40 days or 40 nights is insignificant. It was as long as it took for the transformation, for the cleansing, for the releasing. The Jewish people supposedly wandered in the desert for 40 years. I don't know if that's historically accurate or not, but that number only serves as a symbol for a change in consciousness, a change in mind, a change in perspective, and not actually 40 years. Lent is a time of cleansing, of preparing our consciousness so that we can deepen our awareness and expression of our divine nature. There's nothing in the Bible that speaks directly about Lent. However, the idea has a sound spiritual base that we celebrate at Unity as we are on an evolving and becoming path. Moses, Elijah, and Jesus all demonstrated its importance. Each of them observed a 40-day period of prayer and fasting as preparation for their spiritual work. I like the bowls, Michael. Just keep playing those bowls because it feels so nice. Moses received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai at the conclusion of a fast. Elijah talked with God on Mount Horeb after a period of prayer and fasting. Jesus began his great spiritual ministry at the close of a 40-day fast in the wilderness. And he performed many of his miracles, such as the feeding of the 5,000, the raising of Lazarus from the dead immediately following time spent in prayer and fasting. This 40 days before us is a time to go into the sanctuary of our being and fast from that which does not belong, to let go of something. When we hear the word fasting, we often think in literal terms, like I'm going to give up something I would normally eat or drink. That's not what we are doing here tonight, and it's not what Unity North is going to be doing for the next 40 days. You can choose to give up chocolate if you want, or alcohol if you want. Those might be wise decisions for your body. But I think we're going to give up something more profound, perhaps an anchor that's been weighing you down for a long time, an idea or a thought or a resentment or an unforgiveness that's been holding you back from who you are meant to be. Although I think I will do that and give up broccoli as well. In New Thought, we look at fasting very, very differently. And we use Lent as an acronym, L-E-N-T. Let's eliminate negative thinking. Let's eliminate negative thinking. Tonight is about starting a 40-day fast from all thoughts of unworthiness, from all thoughts of critique and judgment and criticism and condemnation, from all thoughts of unforgiveness, any belief in weakness or lack or less than. We're going to fast from those ideas. This is a 40-day period to clean house. Let go of revenge, old hurts, old slights, old insults, and any and all limitation. It's a time to clear out the cobwebs of consciousness, as long as it takes to do it, so that there can be a deeper and more expansive awareness of our Christ nature, our higher power. Take a deep breath with me, and let's begin that cleaning house process with the following song and poem. I release, Spirit fills my soul. I let go. Walls come down and blocks dissolve. I fall easy into love. Hold these ideas through this melody. Hold it in every cell of your body as you begin a profound journey for the next 40 days. I release, Spirit fills my soul. I let go. Place your hand upon your heart. I release, Spirit fills my soul. I let go. Walls come down. Walls come down. Blocks dissolve. Blocks dissolve. I fall easy into love. Feel the opening. Feel the release. I release. Spirit fills my soul. I let go. I release. Spirit fills my soul. I let go. Walls come down. Walls come down. Blocks dissolve. I fall easy into love. Into love. As we fall, as we release, as we burn that which doesn't belong, all the answers we seek for our becoming lie within the ashes. The answers are in the ashes.
Yes, the answers are in the ashes. As we clear the cobwebs from our consciousness, we let them burn away and find the answers in the ashes. Some things must be burned for others to be built. Our lives flow like water, but our lessons come like silt. Where we are is more important than anywhere that we can go. What we give gives us power and awakens us to the flow. The flow. To be in the breath I take is to ring within the tree. For to be inside myself, I must first grow out of me. I must first grow out of me. It is between where we begin to understand that we are one. And for all we've yet to do, there is more. There is more that we have done. We carry in our vessel all the light we'll ever need. We are oak to the acorn, and God the soil to our seed. When we are flame to the fire, then to burn becomes our task. When we are flamed to the fire, then to burn becomes our task. For there are answers. Yes, there are answers in the ashes beyond what questions can ever ask. Beyond what questions can ever ask.
It is the belief system that happens at Ash Wednesday, that the ashes that are used for the placing of the cross upon the forehead, in unity we say the third eye, are the palm branches from the previous year's Palm Sunday, the celebration, the bringing of the renewal, the welcoming into the city of Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem. I've asked Laura Lynn to lead us in a meditation, a releasing meditation that involves the energy of the celebration of Palm Sunday and the welcoming and the invitation and the burning of those palm branches as new ideas and new paradigms are born.
Holy Week in the Christian calendar is for me like a spiritual hammock. It begins with one end of the hammock firmly attached to a celebratory tree, the victory of Palm Sunday. For Jews, the rumor of a wonder worker named Yeshua had spread across the land, and now he was coming into Jerusalem on a donkey as a redeemer, the hoped-for redeemer. People were out of their mind with euphoria, and so Palm Sunday was a welcoming, triumphant entrance into the city, except that instead of being on a stallion, this redeemer rode on the back of a donkey. But that didn't stop people from clinging to the hope that this was going to be their earthly king, and he was going to save them. Ash Wednesday is putting those palm fronds, which at this point is a warning to all the believers of the teachings of the Christ. Don't get too carried away with the idea of magic happening with this man. God has bigger plans for him and for you. And so, in the Christian calendar, when people make the sign of the cross by dipping their thumb in a pot of ashes from last year's palm fronds and making the sign of the cross, it is acknowledging that we are prepared to follow the teacher, no matter where that donkey leads him, no matter where God the Father leads him. We are his, and we will learn, and we will follow. And so there's an invitation for you to begin taking stock of how much you trust the Spirit of God in you to take you from Ash Wednesday to Good Friday. I was an outsider, not raised with religion, when I started dating my future husband, who was raised Roman Catholic in parochial schools. I was so proud of the fact that on a Friday night date, I wished him a happy Good Friday. And the look I got from him, and he looked into my face and he realized I didn't know what I'd said. He said, "You don't know what Good Friday is?" And I said, "Well, it's got to be good, right?" And at that point, he sat me down in the lobby of my dorm and explained to me what Good Friday was about. And I got angry. I said, "Well, why do you call it good if it's not good?" For all of us who were raised in one religion or another, or no religion, there's still a powerful promise of transformation as we put those ashes symbolically, spiritually on our foreheads and continue to walk through this Holy Week. May each of us find companionship in the spirit and teachings of Yeshua. May it be so.
A story of humility, a story of courage, a story of commitment that each year begins anew. Access within you all the humility needed this year, all the bravery and courage and strength and commitment that you need to walk into an expression in all your humbleness, to let go, to release, to burn, maybe even some of the things that you celebrated about yourself, so that greater chapters and visions can come and emerge from who you are meant to be. A symphony of song, of voice, of light, of love, beyond anything you've ever experienced. Let your strength and your courage and your commitment hold fast to that for the next 40 days. We offer you our next poem.
We orchestrate the notes that tease this symphony of skin to arouse its mortal coil and sing the songs that lay within. We are singing without words. Just a melody of motion. And the silences between are the echoes of emotion. With lavish tender chords, we free the flight of fingers. We strum the air with breath as undraped music lingers. Dripping notes warm as wax from the heat of second sight. Letting loose the primal scream embedded in our night. Through the melting of our walls, we can swim below the skin, tasting flames too vast to number from the fires deep within. This burning of our colors, this sacred burning of our colors, is what is meant by the phrase, to die. And like a phoenix in full flagrante, we free the truth from where we lie. We free the truth from where we lie.
And so now, we invite you to join us in this unusual time that we are in, but to do as we do here, and to place your thumb or your finger, whichever is most comfortable, upon your third eye, and to hold it there. A recognition of the highest expression of who you are. And very methodically in this moment, as a symbol of the Christ of your being, 3 times we will make the symbol of the cross, the symbol of the meeting of the human and the divine, the place of meeting of the Christ and our human journey. There is no need for any ashes upon your forehead, for what is needed to be known exists only on the inside, not the outer. Make this personal. It's not a minister or a priest offering that symbol. It is you knowing that symbol. 3 is a symbol of wholeness and coming together. And so, very quietly, let us make the symbol of the cross on the third eye, a symbol of what has been released and a symbol of the truth realized within the release. And the second time. Feel it, sense it, know it, and the number of completion, the Christ of your being, a third time. Christ renewed in mind, in body, and in spirit. And maybe keep your hand there and feel the potency of that vibration, of that knowing, of that commitment. It's time now to move to the second portion of our service tonight, the Phoenix Rising ceremony. The Phoenix Rising ceremony uses the image of the mythological Egyptian bird, the phoenix, which every 500 years would build its own funeral pyre so that it could be consumed by the fire and reduced to ashes, much like what we do at Burning Bowl every year, much like we do every year at an Ash Wednesday service. The phoenix would then rise from the flames to be reborn, youthful, vibrant, and more fully alive. This is our journey for the next 40 days. Tonight we have created a vacuum by our letting go, and now we fill the void by knowing the truth. Now we all know that we've had our tail feathers singed a bit in this life while attempting to rise above the smoldering ashes of our mistakes, hoping to be reborn into a better circumstance. Yet we must do this, for we know that a richer and fuller life always exists on the other side by right of consciousness. From the ashes we rise above and leave behind our false limitations. Out of the ashes of our past, we rise tonight, more vibrant and fully aware of the magnificence that we are as we prepare for the resurrection and the rebirth of our Christ selves. It is from the ashes of what has been and what we have released that we set the stage for the phoenix of our divine nature to be more fully realized as it soars to new heights and new understandings and new expressions of magnificence. And now we rise. Repeat that after me. And now I rise. Again, and now I rise. Again, and now I rise. And one last time, and now I rise. We offer you the words of beautiful poet Maya Angelou from her book, I Wouldn't Take Anything for My Journey Now. Living as the phoenix and taking the phoenix that she was and remains as we rise higher and higher. Laura Lynn.
In my 20s in San Francisco, I became a sophisticate and an acting agnostic. It wasn't that I had stopped believing in God. It's just that God didn't seem to be around the neighborhoods I frequented. And then a voice teacher introduced me to Lessons in Truth. One day, the teacher asked me to read from a section that ended with these words, God loves me. I read the piece and closed the book, And the teacher said, "Read it again." I pointedly opened the book, and I sarcastically read, "God loves me." I read the piece and closed the book, and the teacher said, "Read it again." I pointedly opened the book, and I sarcastically read, "God loves me." He said, "Again." After about the 7th repetition, I began to sense that there might be truth in the statement, that there was a possibility that God really did love me, Maya Angelou. I suddenly began to cry at the grandness of it all. I knew that if God loved me, then I could do wonderful things. I could try great things. I could learn anything, achieve anything. For what could stand against me with God? Since one person, any person, with God constitutes the majority. That knowledge humbles me, melts my bones, closes my ears, and makes my teeth rock loosely in their gums. And it also liberates me. I am a giant bird winging over high mountains down into serene valleys. I am ripples of waves on silver seas. I am a spring leaf trembling in anticipation. And now I rise. And now I rise.
God loves me. God loves me. God loves me. How many times do I repeat that before I know it? 40? 40 days worth? As long as it takes. And now I rise. And now I rise. And now I rise. How many days or times does it take to repeat it? 40? As long as it takes. I have lived within the darkness, felt the emptiness of night, known the sting of bitter cold, the wounds of endless fights. But now I've found there's more within me than any sorrow of this life. For my spirit has found heaven, and I'm reaching for the light. And now I rise, and now I live above the pain, beyond the fear, for God has shown me to the light of the possible. So now I see that I am free, and now I soar. Yes, now I fly. There are no chains to tie me down. I stand on higher ground, for now I live, and now I grow, for now I rise. How many times do I rise? How many times do I affirm? How many times do I let go? How many times do I claim? 40? 40 days worth? 40 days in the wilderness? 40 days of fasting? I do it until it is done. And suddenly, like the phoenix, I have risen, and I'm already in the new place. And I will know exactly when that moment is. I have traveled to the bottom, the pit of my despair, found a strong and loving God, a force beyond compare. And now I'm lifted so much higher than any power of the night. I am caught up in God's fire, and I'm living in God's light. And now I rise, and now I live above the pain, beyond the fear, for God has shown me to the light of what's possible. So now I see that I'm set free, and now I soar. Yes, now I fly. There are no chains to tie me down. I stand on higher ground, for now I live, and now I grow. For now I fly, for now I know that I shall live and I shall grow. For now I rise, I rise, I rise. We'd like to invite you into the next 40 days. Reverend Julie Boniger is going to have on the Unity North Friends and Family page an opportunity for you to rise every day and to watch on Facebook. Go back and repeat those videos again and again and again. I invite you to begin with a beginner's mind, to go make a commitment to starting tomorrow when you get up to go to that Facebook page with a clean slate, a clean and open mind to rise again and to do it as long as it takes. There's going to be, in those videos, they're going to contain concepts of power, the power of the present moment. There'll be celebrations of art and of beauty and of nature, each one a divine encounter, and the power of community, because we're all going to be doing it together. For the next 40 days, we're going to be going to that site together and uniting in consciousness, like phoenixes, like Christed beings, remembering and supporting and loving each other. It's going to be concepts that we teach every Sunday, all year long at Unity North, but they're going to be going to a deeper place. I invite you to not miss one day of the next 40 to go until we hit Easter. And that Easter will be more glorious a celebration than it's ever been, because you started with us tonight and you traveled the journey into the new Jerusalem, into the new you. Like it, like that video, share it, send it to your friends and to your family, and invite the world into the environment of the becoming. I want to thank you for joining us here this evening. As always, I love that we're in a service where we can celebrate Fat Tuesday, and we can rise and we can read the poetry of Maya Angelou, the poetry of Michael Burke, the wisdom and the sharing and the beautiful stories of Reverend Laura Lynn Bellamy, and 1,000 ancestors and 1,000 angels that have been here, moving in and rushing into what we have created here tonight, saying it's time to let that go and it's time to become. All those energies are part of your journey. Take what works for you. I invite you to say thank you for what has transpired here tonight by, well, first of all, by continually remembering that third eye, remembering that higher vibration and consciousness, and remembering the Christ of your being. But that's saying thank you through a monetary donation, to find a way to express through the generosity and the giving of your abundance and your prosperity to this community, that we can continue to do things like this. Texting to give is one way. Mailing a check in, dropping a check off. You know, every Wednesday we do this service. We have a food drive during the day, and again, over 200 people were served and were fed tonight as a result of your generosity that allows that outreach to happen. That's Easter to me. That's resurrection. That's 40 days of just serving and serving and serving and doing it over and over again, and watching the faces of people who drive through and said, this was the only thing I was eating for the last 6 weeks. I just got a job, or I just got that check, and I want to pay it forward. And then they come and they serve, and they come and they offer a financial donation so that food bank can continue. That's how we do business here at Unity North. Your donations allow us to continue to do the external and the internal work of becoming, recognizing, demonstrating, and sharing the divinity, the Christ of all of us. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. I invite you to go forward with a courage and strength to rise and to rise and to rise again as long as it takes. Have a beautiful and blessed evening, a beautiful and blessed Lenten season, and we're walking together into the New Jerusalem. And now I rise, and now I live above the pain, beyond the fear, for God has shown me to the light of the possible. So now I see that I'm set free. Go be set free. Have a glorious evening. For now we rise, we rise, we rise. We'll see you Sunday. Good night.